January 9th, 2025. The United States wakes to an extraordinary reality. Elon Musk, engineer, entrepreneur, and iconoclast, is being hailed as the unofficial president of America. His influence in the latest election has not only shaped the outcome, but redefined the very boundaries of political power in the nation. This isn't about corporate takeovers or technological breakthroughs. It's about a tech titan stepping into the arena of governance without holding a single elected office. How did Elon Musk, a man who once declared himself apolitical, rise to such unprecedented authority? And what does this mean for the future of democracy in America? Today, we trace the events that led to this historic moment. It's a story of power, influence, and a seismic shift in the American political landscape, one that will leave an indelible mark on the country's history. And it all begins with a single choice that would change everything. Elon Musk's journey to becoming America's unofficial president didn't happen overnight. It was the culmination of years of carefully cultivated influence, strategic decisions, and leveraging his position as one of the most powerful individuals on the planet. Musk, a man synonymous with innovation and ambition, embarked on a path that blurred the lines between technology and politics, reshaping the way power is wielded in the digital age. Let's rewind to early 2024. At this point, Musk was already a household name. Tesla had revolutionized the automotive industry, SpaceX was routinely launching rockets into space, and Neuralink was breaking ground in neuroscience. But it was his acquisition of X, formerly Twitter, in late 2022 that truly set the stage for his political rise. Musk had transformed X into more than just a social media platform. It became a megaphone for his ideas and a tool to shape public discourse. In the months leading up to the 2024 election, Musk began to use X with increasing precision and intent. He publicly criticized the Biden administration's economic policies, particularly its approach to renewable energy and electric vehicles. Musk argued that government subsidies were stifling innovation, positioning himself as a voice for free market solutions. Behind the scenes, his political strategists were analyzing user engagement data on X, identifying key swing states and demographics that could be mobilized for the upcoming election. By mid-2024, Musk's influence was no longer just about tweets and public statements. It became tangible. That summer, he announced the formation of America PAC, a super PAC designed to support candidates aligned with his vision for the country. While Musk initially framed the PAC as a nonpartisan initiative, its activities told a different story. America PAC funneled tens of millions of dollars into voter registration drives, ad campaigns, and grassroots organizing efforts, all of which were heavily concentrated in battleground states like Pennsylvania, Arizona, and Georgia. The scale of America PAC's operations was staggering. By October 2024, it had raised over $118 million, making it one of the most well-funded political action committees in the country. But the money was only part of the story. America PAC also pioneered new techniques in digital campaigning. Using data analytics and AI tools developed by Musk companies, the PAC created hyper-targeted ad campaigns that reached voters with unprecedented precision. These ads weren't just persuasive. They were predictive, tailored to address the specific concerns and preferences of individual voters. Musk's political influence extended beyond the borders of the United States. In the United Kingdom, he reportedly held private meetings with opposition leaders to discuss strategies for unseating Prime Minister Keir Starmer. Musk's support for the right-wing populist Reform UK party raised eyebrows, with critics accusing him of meddling in foreign politics. Meanwhile, in Spain, Prime Minister Pedro Sánchez openly criticized Musk for supporting far-right movements and undermining European institutions. The controversy surrounding Musk's international political activities only added to his mystique. For his supporters, these moves were evidence of a visionary leader unafraid to challenge the status quo. For his detractors, they were a troubling reminder of the dangers of concentrated power in the hands of a private individual. As the 2024 U.S. presidential election approached, Musk's alignment with Donald Trump became increasingly apparent. While he never officially endorsed Trump, his actions spoke volumes. America PAC's voter registration drives were overwhelmingly focused on Republican strongholds. Musk's social media platform amplified pro-Trump narratives, while his criticisms of Democratic policies grew sharper and more frequent. By the time Election Day arrived, it was clear that Musk had become one of the most influential figures in Trump's campaign. The election results confirmed what many had suspected. Musk's involvement had been a game-changer. Trump's narrow victories in key swing states were attributed, in large part, to the efforts of America PAC. Analysts estimated that Musk's initiatives had mobilized hundreds of thousands of new voters, tipping the scales in Trump's favor. But Musk's influence didn't end with the election. In the weeks following Trump's victory, he was appointed as the co-leader of the newly formed Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE. Tasked with reducing federal spending by $2 trillion, the department was a testament to Musk's ability to blur the lines between public service and private enterprise. Critics questioned the ethics of allowing a private citizen to wield such significant power within the government. But Musk dismissed these concerns, arguing that his involvement was necessary to drive meaningful change. By the end of 2024, it was clear that Musk had become more than just a political influencer. He was a kingmaker, a policy advisor, and in many ways a shadow president. His ability to shape the outcome of the election and his subsequent role in the Trump administration marked a turning point in American politics, one that would have far-reaching implications for years to come. Musk's rise to political prominence wasn't just a story about one man's ambition. It was a reflection of the changing nature of power in the 21st century. In a world where technology and politics are increasingly intertwined, figures like Musk represent a new kind of leader, one who operates outside the traditional structures of governance, but wields influence that rivals, or even surpasses, that of elected officials. Elon Musk's evolution into America's unofficial president is a case study in how wealth, technology, and strategic positioning can influence the political arena without a formal seat in government. By the second half of 2024, Musk's rise was no longer just about rhetoric or public appearances. It was a demonstration of how an individual could reshape political systems through calculated moves, bold financial commitments, and groundbreaking technological innovation. At the heart of Musk's strategy was his social media platform, X, formerly Twitter. After acquiring the platform in 2022, Musk had already begun reshaping its culture by emphasizing free speech and reducing content moderation. But 2024 saw a pivot. X transformed into a powerful political weapon. The platform became a direct line to millions of voters, bypassing traditional media channels and allowing Musk to frame political narratives in real time. Using advanced algorithms developed by engineers from his other companies like Tesla and OpenAI, X employed artificial intelligence to create predictive models of voter behavior. Musk's team identified key swing voters, crafting hyper-targeted content to sway opinions. Posts highlighting issues like economic reform, renewable energy, and free market policies flooded the feeds of users in battleground states. These posts often mirrored Trump's campaign messaging, although Musk himself carefully avoided making an outright endorsement at first. But Musk wasn't just using X to promote his political ideas. He actively disrupted his opponents' communication channels. In the months leading up to the election, X's algorithm deprioritized content from certain Democratic-leaning influencers and organizations. While Musk denied any deliberate interference, independent researchers flagged the platform's noticeable bias during the campaign season. In the summer of 2024, Musk unveiled America PAC, his most overt step into the political arena. Publicly, the Super PAC was branded as a nonpartisan initiative to encourage innovation-friendly governance. Privately, it was a machine dedicated to securing victories for Republican candidates who aligned with Musk's vision for America. America PAC was flush with cash, much of it Musk's own money. By October 2024, it had amassed over $118 million in contributions, a staggering sum even in the high-stakes world of U.S. elections. These funds were used to fuel a voter registration drive targeting 800,000 individuals in swing states like Georgia, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. Registration booths were set up at Tesla charging stations, SpaceX exhibitions, and even local libraries, ensuring that Musk's brand was front and center in these critical efforts. In addition to traditional campaign methods, America PAC utilized emerging technologies for micro-targeting. AI-powered systems analyzed voter preferences in real time, delivering customized messages through X, emails, and even direct mail campaigns. For instance, a young voter interested in renewable energy might receive a personalized message detailing how Musk's vision for solar energy could revolutionize the country. Older voters concerned about national security were targeted with messages emphasizing Musk's investments in advanced defense technologies. This approach was both innovative and controversial. While supporters hailed Musk's methods as a new frontier in political engagement, critics decried them as manipulative and invasive, raising questions about privacy and the ethical use of data in elections. Musk's influence wasn't confined to U.S. borders. His political activities extended into Europe, where he became an increasingly polarizing figure. In the United Kingdom, Musk was rumored to have met with opposition leaders to discuss strategies for unseating Prime Minister Keir Starmer. Musk's backing of the right-wing populist Reform UK party raised eyebrows, especially after the party's policies began to echo Musk's own views on deregulation and technological innovation. In Spain, Prime Minister Pedro Sánchez openly criticized Musk, accusing him of using his platforms to bolster far-right movements. Sanchez's remarks came after a wave of X posts promoting populist and ultranationalist leaders in the EU. Musk's actions spurred debates across Europe about the growing power of tech magnates to influence democratic processes. These international interventions solidified Musk's reputation as a disruptor. For his supporters, he was a visionary shaking up stagnant systems. For his critics, he represented a dangerous consolidation of power in a single individual's hands. The contrasting perspectives only added to Musk's mystique, making him a figure who transcended borders and ideologies. Though Musk never formally joined Trump's campaign, the alignment of their goals became increasingly apparent as the 2024 election drew closer. Musk's America PAC was instrumental in securing key victories for Republican candidates at both state and federal levels. His platform amplified pro-Trump narratives while suppressing those that contradicted them, creating an environment where Trump's messaging faced little resistance. Privately, Musk maintained regular communication with senior members of Trump's campaign. Leaked emails later revealed that Musk had advised the campaign on everything from digital strategy to policy proposals, particularly those related to renewable energy and infrastructure. One memo suggested that Musk had even drafted parts of Trump's economic plan, emphasizing deregulation and incentives for tech innovation. After Trump's narrow victory in November 2024, Musk's role in the administration became official. He was appointed co-leader of the newly formed Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, a cabinet-level initiative tasked with reducing federal spending by $2 trillion. Critics saw this as a conflict of interest, pointing out that Musk's private companies stood to benefit from many of the department's proposed policies. Musk dismissed these concerns, arguing that his expertise was necessary to modernize government operations. By the end of 2024, Musk's influence had fundamentally altered the American political landscape. Traditional party lines had blurred, replaced by a new dynamic where individuals, not institutions, held the reins of power. Musk's rise highlighted the vulnerability of democratic systems to disruption by figures who could combine wealth, technology, and strategic foresight. This consolidation of power wasn't without consequences. Civil rights groups raised alarms about the implications of Musk's voter targeting techniques, warning that they could deepen existing inequalities in political representation. International watchdogs called for greater scrutiny of his activities, particularly in Europe, where his interventions were seen as a threat to democratic stability. But Musk remained unfazed. For him, politics was just another system to be optimized, a new frontier in his lifelong quest to reshape the world. As 2025 began, Musk's role in America's political and economic future was undeniable. The question now was how far he would go, and whether the country and the world could keep up with his vision. Elon Musk's emergence as the unofficial president of America didn't end with the 2024 election. It was only the beginning. While Donald Trump resumed his place in the Oval Office, many believed Musk's influence rivaled, if not overshadowed, that of the official commander-in-chief. Musk's fingerprints were on everything from domestic policies to international diplomacy, cementing his place as a power broker in ways both overt and subtle. One of Musk's first visible actions as an advisor to the Trump administration was leading the newly created Department of Government Efficiency DOGE. The department's mission: streamline federal operations and eliminate inefficiencies, with a stated goal of slashing $2 trillion in government spending over the next decade. Musk brought his signature Silicon Valley mindset to the project, focusing on automation, data analytics, and restructuring. Leveraging engineers from SpaceX, Tesla, and Neuralink, DOGE began implementing AI-powered systems to audit government programs. These audits identified redundancies in federal agencies, leading to sweeping recommendations for consolidation. For example, multiple agencies handling environmental data were merged under a single entity, which Musk claimed would save billions annually. Critics, however, questioned whether Musk's measures were overly focused on cost-cutting at the expense of public welfare. A notable controversy arose when DOGE recommended privatizing parts of the healthcare system managed by the Department of Veterans Affairs. While Musk argued that private companies like Tesla Health, a subsidiary of his corporation, could deliver better outcomes, veteran advocacy groups decried the move as profiteering. The restructuring extended beyond cost-saving measures. DOGE also proposed investments in renewable energy infrastructure to replace outdated power grids. These proposals aligned with Musk's long-standing commitment to sustainable energy and showcased his dual role as a policymaker and industry leader. Skeptics pointed out that Tesla Energy was poised to benefit significantly from these contracts, raising concerns about conflicts of interest. While Musk's domestic influence was profound, his role on the international stage was equally transformative and polarizing. In Europe, Musk's meddling in elections and political systems triggered widespread alarm. His platform, X, became the epicenter of political discourse, amplifying populist voices and challenging the narratives of traditional political parties. The far-right Alternative for Germany, AfD, openly credited Musk for their unprecedented gains in the 2024 German elections, with their leaders hailing him as a champion of free speech and innovation. In the UK, Musk's involvement was even more direct. Reports surfaced of secret meetings with Nigel Farage and other leaders of Reform UK, a right-wing populist party. Musk provided strategic advice on leveraging social media to mobilize disenchanted voters. Reform UK's surge in popularity, coupled with their adoption of Muskian rhetoric about deregulation and technological advancement, underscored his growing influence. European leaders, including French President Emmanuel Macron and German Chancellor Olaf Scholz, publicly condemned Musk's interference. Macron went so far as to label Musk a global oligarch, warning of the dangers of unelected individuals wielding disproportionate power. These criticisms were exacerbated by Musk's financial contributions to fringe parties across Europe, which opponents argued undermined democratic institutions. Musk's global ambitions weren't limited to the West. In China, he walked a delicate line, maintaining cordial relations with the Communist Party while advocating for increased U.S.-China collaboration on renewable energy. Musk's SpaceX ventures offered satellite internet services to rural Chinese regions, earning praise from local governments, but drawing suspicion from Western intelligence agencies, which worried about his dual allegiances. In Africa and South America, Musk's philanthropic efforts often had political undertones. Solar City installations in underdeveloped regions were accompanied by pro-Musk propaganda on X, framing him as a benevolent force bringing progress to the global South. Critics argued these campaigns were less about altruism and more about expanding Musk's soft power in regions rich in critical minerals needed for Tesla's batteries. No discussion of Musk's political ascendancy would be complete without examining the role of X, the social media platform he controlled. By 2025, X had become the de facto public square for political discourse, with over 1 billion active users worldwide. Musk's platform offered not just a stage for debates, but a means of actively steering them. Musk's team developed an advanced algorithm dubbed Citizen Rank, which analyzed users' engagement patterns to prioritize content that aligned with Musk's vision. Citizen Rank ensured that posts advocating for renewable energy, space exploration, and deregulation-dominated timelines, subtly shaping public opinion. Critics called this soft propaganda, likening it to state-controlled media but in a privatized format. While Musk denied manipulating the platform for political gain, whistleblowers revealed that dissenting voices were being algorithmically deprioritized. Progressive politicians and media outlets reported significant drops in engagement, leading to accusations that Musk was using X to suppress opposition. Musk also experimented with integrating digital referendums into X, allowing users to vote on policy questions in real time. While these referendums were non-binding, they generated headlines and often influenced actual policy decisions. For instance, a poll about cutting corporate tax rates garnered 68% approval among X users, prompting Republicans to propose similar legislation in Congress. This fusion of social media and policymaking was unprecedented, raising questions about the legitimacy of decisions shaped by online polls, often skewed by Musk's follower base. Musk's growing influence did not come without resistance. Civil rights groups, environmental activists, and watchdog organizations launched campaigns to counter his reach. Protests erupted in Washington, D.C., demanding greater oversight of DOGE and calling for stricter regulations on the use of personal data in voter outreach. In the tech world, competitors like Meta and Google joined forces to push back against Musk's monopolistic tendencies. The companies accused him of using X and his other ventures to stifle competition, filing lawsuits alleging anti-competitive practices. Congress also began to take notice. Bipartisan coalitions introduced bills aimed at curbing the influence of private billionaires in politics. The Magnate Accountability Act, proposed in early 2025, sought to limit the financial contributions and lobbying activities of individuals like Musk. While the bill faced an uphill battle, its introduction signaled growing unease about Musk's unchecked power. By early 2025, Elon Musk had redefined what it meant to wield power in the modern age. He blurred the lines between public and private sectors, using his wealth and platforms to influence decisions that traditionally rested with elected officials. Whether seen as a visionary or a threat to democracy, Musk's impact on global politics was undeniable. His involvement in the Trump administration through DOGE, his sway over international elections, and his use of technology to shape public opinion marked a new chapter in political history. Musk's actions posed a fundamental question. In a world where influence can be bought, coded, and algorithmically deployed, what does democracy truly mean? As Musk himself might say, this was just the beginning. Elon Musk's role as America's unofficial president represents a profound shift in the way power is wielded in the 21st century. No longer is influence confined to elected officials. It now flows through the hands of tech giants, billionaires, and innovators who are reshaping political landscapes in ways we're only beginning to understand. As we move forward, the line between public and private power continues to blur. The question remains, how will this new era of digital democracy evolve? And, most importantly, what does it mean for the future of governance, free speech, and our collective ability to hold power accountable? One thing is clear. The story of Elon Musk and his role in shaping the future is far from over. The world is watching. And in the coming years, we'll all be answering the question of whether this new type of influence is something we can control or if it will control us. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more.